So I hate to ask this question, but I know everyone probably is thinking it. Measurement. Measurement is one of those things that, no matter what you are doing from a marketing perspective, somebody, whether it's on the leadership team or your boss or somebody else, is going to be like, all right, how do we measure this? So how did you approach that part of this? Or did you at all? And did you just say, screw measurement?
Right. No, I think that's like the place where marketers really mess up. Is like if you back yourself into this corner and say, oh, but like we can only move forward if we know for sure we can measure it as like 1 + 1 = 2. Like marketing isn't a 1 + 1 = 2 kind of game. And influencer marketing, whenever you start actually moving to anything outside of like a direct response game, you just don't track it. Like that's the truth. You just don't. Not in the traditional way. So
I can't wait
I was
to, I
very
can't, I
fortunate.
cannot wait to turn that into a social clip because it couldn't be more true. Yes. No, keep going.
It couldn't be more true. But like, I think that at the time I was very fortunate. My boss had spent 7 years of his career leading brand for Red Bull, which like maybe you've heard of it, which probably means was great at leading brand for Red Bull. And he had come to lead, and he was the VP of marketing when I was here working for this brand. And he obviously had a lot of like different mentalities than anybody really that I had reported to, especially in a SaaS like demand gen role. And he was not pressuring us for reporting, which is great. It allowed us this freedom to like jump off the cliff and just take a leap of faith and say, hey, we've identified these 3 partners. Like we really believe for all of these reasons that they are our people. Let's not set like strict guardrails around it. And we didn't. Over time, we did find ways to develop like self-reported attribution or campaign level attribution for certain activations that we ended up doing with these partners. But there wasn't like one holistic Salesforce campaign where it's like, if it's not in there, then it's not successful. That's ultimately just like not how we approached it at all. And honestly, like, I feel like if you're trying to do the like, we spent $2, we're getting $4 back
Don't
scenario,
do it. Yeah.
you're like, it's never going to work. You can like stop before you even get started because it's not going to work.
So you mentioned your old boss and having, we were looking at his LinkedIn profile when we were riffing on the topic, and he had a pretty interesting background. So what were some of the things that, looking back, he brought over from Red Bull that changed the way that you would approach something like this? Because not many bosses work for, a B2C brand like that, and also a B2C brand that has insane awareness.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think too, at the time, it's so funny. It's like, this is one of my like best learnings, I think, in my career is like, we didn't agree on anything in early days because I had a strict like B2B SaaS background, always in a performance-based role where leaders were looking to me, and obviously I was very much an IC. This was very early in my career where I was like taught these principles around like dollar in, dollar out, everything needs to be measured. And, I thought I was a really great like IC at that point, right? I was like, no. Like, his name was AK, shout out AK. And he was like, AK, we can't do this. Like, we cannot, I don't know how I'm going to measure this. I was actually concerned about it, but believed in it. So I was like quite torn at the time. And he was like, here's the thing, Kaylee, like you just can't expect it. And here's why. He's like, he talked me through some of the campaigns that they'd run at Red Bull, how many, the ridiculous amounts of dollars that they had spent on it and how they ultimately attributed success. And it was all through like a self-reported attribution model, which at the time we didn't have such a direct naming convention for it. But it was a very tactical approach of like, okay, here's the thing. We're going to partner with Scott Stratton. We know that he's going to this city, this city, this city, this city. And we know that we're going to do a book signing. We're going to do whatever. One of our first like activations was a book signing. So we ordered some of his books. We had him sign them. We had him come to our booth. Our booth had hundreds of people after his keynote lining up to take pictures, have him sign the book. We took pictures. I'll have to go find them so you can like post them later. But hundreds of people wrapped around the conference. We were like causing like real disruption. And he like pulled me aside and he was like, Kaylee, this is your attribution right here. This is your success.
I love that.
And I was like, oh, like, but I didn't like get it until we were like in it. And he was like, this is marketing, like around you right now. Everybody was coming up. I love Emma. I love Scott Stratton. Like we were just standing there like in awe, like listening. Of course, he knew it was going to play out like this. I was like, just like dumbfounded the whole time. Like, this is so awesome. But that was my first like real experience for like creating disruption in a space. And it's like, that's attribution. From there, we went on to do like a series of events with him where we would actually have marketers, but also sales reps, like attending smaller base, like niche
Mhm.
conferences with Scott Stratton, like as our keynote. We would record podcasts with him because he had a podcast back in the day. He was ahead of his
Oh my
time,
god, yeah.
like all of those things. And we would have one off like reporting stints where we would say, like, this was the feedback we were hearing. This is qualitative information from the event. Like, these are the types of people that we were granted like access to have conversations with because they were actually coming to talk with Scott, but they were standing in line and couldn't do anything. So we would just go up and have conversations with them while they're waiting to meet with him. From there, we would attract like all this valuable information about them, who they are, how they use email. Like, it was so valuable that he's like, this is our ROI. This is all we need.